Welcome back, everybody. This is Builder Lab, and we are going to be finally doing the CFS upgrade kit to the K1C. So let's get right into it, and we'll get installing. All right, so let's see what's in this thing. This is the first time I'm opening it, so we're doing this all together. We're going to learn together. We got our PTFE, we got a hopper, Z-axis motor cover, cutter block, some screwdrivers apparently, double-ended fitting, looks for the PTFE, napkin strip, that's the thing on the back of the build plate that the nozzle wipes on, USB cable, cable chain mounting sheet metal, lead screw rod cover, left and right, extruder motor cover, some 3M tape, we got our hopper fixed block, power cable, I'm gonna throw that behind me, got the lead screw cover, that's going behind too. And what's in here? We got USB drive, and it looks like the extruder kit. Fancy. And our lead screw cover. All right, well, looks like all the parts are here. I'm just gonna double check with the manifest, and then we'll get the printer up here and start installing these. All right, so the first step is we need to get the PTFE tube out of the top here. So you just push down on here, pull as you're pushing down. And then we're gonna take off the front cover here. So we'll get the Allen key. And we'll just take her out. Take the one out of the other side as well. These ones are a little bit annoying because of the rods. All right, both are out. There's a couple of posts on the top here. So we'll pull from the bottom, lift up, and then we'll remove that. Now the front cover's off. The next step is we're gonna take the motor cover off. So we'll lift from the back. And it's a snap-on, so just gently pull her off, cover off. Now we're gonna remove the motor and the extruder block. So we're gonna get a bigger Allen key than last time. I think it's like one step up. Could not tell you what size these are, just off the top of my head. One screw. Make sure you keep track of all these screws. The bars really make this annoying. Now there should be another screw on the other side. I didn't have that, so yeah, I forgot to put it in when I replaced the extruder. All right, so now we're going to remove the extruder gear setup from the motor. So there's 2 screws on the gears here. You don't have to pull them all the way out. The extruder comes as a package. Boom. And now we're going to install the first piece from the upgrade kit. And that is the extruder kit. Alright, so make sure this tab is on the bottom. This one goes down and this one goes up. Oop, this one goes up. This one goes down. And we'll get the extruder. I'm going to go to the other side of the printer. It might make it a little easier to see. There's a long and a short. And then on the extruder, the short goes into that one. And then long one goes through here. Okay, screws are in. I'm just gonna mate with that. Allen key. That one is too big. We're gonna use the one that we used to take off the front cover with. The cable from the motor is pretty short, so be careful about that. And then keeping this wire going down, we'll place that just in like that. Now, you got to make sure that the screws line up with the screw holes when you're inserting it. And I find that the wire from the motors will conflict with that a little bit. So we'll just slow. Give it a little bit more force. And we're almost lined up. Oh, I see. Make sure that is not underneath. Make sure that is not underneath. There we go. There was a nice click. Oof. And I'm just gonna put in one for now, just to hold everything together. Just putting in the top screw. Alright, so the one from the top is gonna go down and up and plug into the top post right. Well, there's a plug right above my finger. So it's gonna plug into that one. This one might require tweezers. Okay, that was a little difficult, but Got it in. All right, now this one is gonna go to the other side. Same procedure. There's only one plug on this side, so it's a little bit easier. This one's very long, this cable. On the cable, there's a bit of silver. That side goes out. Alright, so that side is now plugged in. So the cutter detection and the breakout filament break detection wire, which is the black one. And now we're going to reassemble, putting on the front plate and putting on the motor cover. I'll plug in the fan. Always remember to plug in the fan. And then we start from the top, get it on the posts, and then push down. I'll do the far side screw first. You'll probably want to compress it a bit to get the screws to line up. And that screw is going in. We'll want to compress it a bit again. And tighten the screw. Now we'll put the motor cover on. We'll start with the posts on the front. I'm not really sure. I thought I routed these correctly. That's my bad. We don't use the original extruder motor cover. We'll put that back where we found it, and we'll put this one back above. Keep it tight. We'll start at the top and push down. Yeah, that's much better. All right. Okay, the next step is going to be to remove these two screws. So we will do that now. And that one is also going to be the one that we use to remove the front cover. My hands are completely in the way. I'm not sure how I could get a better angle on doing this. These ones are pretty long, holy. All right, 2 screws removed. Now, we're going going to move to those two screws. And we're not going to remove them. We're just going to loosen them. A single turn is enough to loosen them. Come on. They're finger loose now, so that's good. So in the package we get 2 of these cutter blocks. We're going to use cutter block A because it fits the K1C. Cutter block A also fits the K1, the K1SE, and B fits the K1 Max. So we're going to go back to the one where we remove the screws. We're going to put it in this orientation. So we'll grab the screws that we removed from that. And we will install it. Now, we're going to move the extruder to the very front so that this is completely against the blocks. It cannot move any further. We are now going to tighten. We're going to move this so that the screws are at the very back. And now we're going to tighten all 4 screws. Alright, all 4 screws have been tightened. I'll show you how I oriented the cutter block at the back. So the cutter block is now completely pressed up against the screws. Okay, the next step is going to be to remove the PTFE tube. So we're going to do the same thing we did with the other. We're going to hold down and pull. And now we'll just pull it directly out. Save that for later if you like. PTFE tube is always nice. We're now going to remove this, the cable holder. Same one we used to remove the front cover plate. One. Two. There's 2 on the inside. 3 and trying not to lose the screws. Okay. So we got 2 screws from attaching it to the machine. And then we got the 2 screws that were in the cable chain. Nice. Now we're going to remove the filament detection sensor. There's some filament in there. So that's these 2 screws. And we will remove that. And remove this here. before we do that, we're going to attach the double-ended fitting to where we've removed the old fitting. We're going to put it in the outside one. Just got it started. Gonna hold it vertical and continue tightening. And there you go. Double-ended fitting is attached. Now, using the cable chain mounting sheet metal, we're going to attach the cable chain. So we're going to mount it just like this. So we'll get 2 screws. It might be easier to put one in and have it like this. The screw is now tight. Continue with the next screw. And that is nice and tight. Now we'll get the next 2 screws. We're going to attach the cable chain just like that. As long as you can get one in, it makes it so much easier for the second. Captain Obvious. And nice and tight. So now from the kit, we're going to open our PTFE tube bag. And we're going to retrieve the shorter PTFE. It's pretty obvious which one's shorter. Is it? It's actually not that obvious. So we'll get the shorter PTFE out of that tube, out of that bag, and we will connect it to our double-ended that we just added and our extruder head. To the double-ended, to the extruder. All right, the next step is we're going to be installing the screw rod covers. I'll move you guys into a better position to see this. All right, so you'll notice on the top there's a left and a right. Now these just snap in. So we'll just put it in sideways in the wrap, and then how do we get it to snap on there? That's weird. No, that's actually not that bad. You just gotta finagle it. So now that's covered, and it does show it going to the outside, so just do what we're told. covers are installed. Alright, so our next step is going to be removing these two screws from the lead screw rod bracket. Don't lose those screws. And these ones are kind of tight. Okay, second screw is now removed. Now, out of that long white box, the lead screw cover, we're gonna get cover A. And you'll see there's a small tab at the top. We're gonna place that down, and the tab slots over the bracket here. On the inside of the printer, we're going to want to make sure that this slotted in inside. So let's move down and show that. So the slot I was talking about is this slot. We're going to want to make sure that we push it behind. Now that's not going anywhere. All right, now we're going to want to get the Z-axis motor cover, and we're going to want to install that. We'll get the Allen key that we use to remove the front cover. Put the cover in place. You'll probably have to move this a little bit out of the way to get it completely over. We'll get the screw. Get it in there. Oh, this is gonna not be fun. All right. You're not gonna be able to see anything when I do this. I'm gonna need to use two hands. How the heck? You know what? That is crazy difficult. All right, hold on a sec. He wants it from this side. I don't even know how doable that is. Let's try if we can do it from this side. Yeah, okay, that worked. That was much easier too. Put the screw in from that side. Much simpler. Okay, time for the hopper. Alright, so a little bit of assembly for the hopper is required first. So we're going to get the spring, the hopper. We're going to get hopper block A. It's on the inside. Took me a minute to find that. And we're going to get the long screw. We'll get the hopper. Put the long screw down for a second. And the spring. snap the spring in like that. Hopper block. We're going to start the long screw. It's obviously a little difficult because there's a spring. And I just pop the spring out. So we'll install the spring into the housing, a nice snap. And then having the A going towards the long side of the hopper, we're going to press that up and compress the spring so that we can get this screw in here. Now this is kind of difficult because the spring does not like to be compressed. There you go. Go all the way in. And now we'll need the Allen key. And we're going to tighten that stuff up. See if you can see that. Ooh, don't do that. That's how you strip the screw. Oh, and I did. Noise. Now with the 2 screws that came in the hopper fix block bag, we're going to attach it back just like that. So I just got that one started. I'm going to get the second one started before I tighten them down all the way. Alright, I won't waste your time with this tightening the screw on this one. I'll come back once that's done. Alright, so the install on the K1C is now done. We're going to move on to firmware upgrade and nozzle coordinates setting. Alright, so we're going to want to plug in and turn on the machine. And the USB drive that we got with the upgrade kit, we're going to insert into the USB drive. So automatically, it's going to come up with the version upgrade. We're going to click upgrade. And once it's done installing the new firmware, it's going to go through a self-check. So we'll come back once the self-check is complete. Looks like it just restarted again. Alright, I guess we'll do this. That's already done. I agree. Next. I'm gonna pause the recording and we'll come back once I've set up my network. Alright, set the time zone settings. International. We're not gonna worry about that right now. And we're gonna do the self-check process. So we'll let it go through all the calibration steps and we'll come back. Alright, now that the self-check is complete, we get this screen. So we're gonna upgrade to multi-material. So it is now moving to the home position. Okay. So we will move it back. Alright, well that, I did 10 and then that seemed to work much better, so we'll click save. Seems like when the extruder hits the hopper, it pushes it out a bit, so. Okay. So, we've done that. We've set that. So now we're gonna connect the CFS. So we'll move the cameras around a little bit and we'll come back. So we're just gonna get the 3M tape and the buffer that comes with the CFS. And we're gonna just put it onto the back somewhere here. So the one with 4, we're facing that way. Creality symbol is up. Okay. Now, the PTFE that we got with the CFS. We're gonna get one that fits. I guess I did it too low. I'll put it right underneath the filter. Bada bing. Okay. Now, unfortunately, I'm using the lid as a bowl, so I'm gonna have to move a bunch of stuff. I'll be right back. All right, so I've put the lid back on and the CFS is on the top. So now I'm gonna grab the Creality 485 cable, 1.5 meters. We're gonna plug one into the material buffer. Nice. And then one goes into the CFS. to the first one on the CFS. Okay. Now we're gonna get the USB one. So this one has the same 485, but it goes to USB. So that goes into the second one. Boom. And that will plug into the front of the printer. And there you have it. That is the CFS installed on the K1C. So we'll do an overview and get her tuned up and check her out.
Every night you call, I didn't know then I'd always catch you if you fall. So I'll stay on my end. We're no strangers to this all. We're just figuring our shit out, getting nothing out. Cause even when I'm breaking inside, even when I need you, it gets hard to love the things you left behind. But baby, we could do whatever we like. We don't even have to try for this. We got time for this. And baby, no, even if you just let go, we would never have to lie for this. We got time for this. I keep losing you in a world made of my dreams. I'm so scared to move. I just wish you'd get some sleep. But I'm fine. I'm fine. Even when I'm hurting inside, baby, we could do whatever we like. We don't even have to try for this. We got time for this. And baby, no, even if you just let go, we would never have to lie for this. We got time for this. We can do whatever we like. We don't even have to try for this. We got time for this. And baby, no, even if you just let go, we would never have to lie for this. We got time for this. Every night you call, I didn't know then I'd always catch you if you fall. So I'll stay on